No hay que dejar perder el nido, ni el colorido del tucán, ni el meditar de la lechuza, ni el canto de alcaraván. Que nunca se cansen las loras, ni las chachalacas de gritar. Que los martines pescadores tengan ríos para pescar. Que el cielo se manche de garzas y de pelícanos el mar. Que sea flor la guacamaya en la espesura del mangal. No dejes que se destruya toda esa belleza que también es tuya. No dejes que se destruya toda esa belleza que también es tuya. No, 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 no. Hey, la, 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 yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, la, 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 yeah, yeah. Hay que tener siempre esperanza y optimismo de gavilán, alegría de pato de agua, afinamiento de zorzal. Que alto vuela la tijereta bajo los cielos sobre el mar. Las oropengolas ruidosas van a hacer nido en el palmar. Que el cielo se manche de garzas y de pelícanos el mar. Que sea flor la guacamaya en la espesura del mangal. No dejes que se destruya toda esa belleza que también es tuya. No dejes que se destruya toda esa belleza que también es tuya. No, 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 no. Que el cielo se manche de garzas y de pelícanos el mar. Que sea flor la guacamaya en la espesura del mangal. No dejes que se destruya toda esa belleza que también es tuya. No dejes que se destruya toda esa belleza que también es tuya. No, 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 no. Que se destruya, no, no, no dejes que se destruya, no, no dejes que se destruya, no, no, no dejes que se destruya, no, no dejes que se destruya, no, no, no dejes que se destruya, no, 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 no dejes, no, 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 no dejes que se destruya, no, no dejes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a new face emerging on the exciting, ever-dynamic Central American birding forefront, and it's attracting increasing numbers of birders to a wonderful, relatively unknown, but spectacularly bird-rich destination. Honduras and Pico Bonito National Park is a birder's dream come true. Superlatives really don't do it justice. You have to see it to believe it. The park and Honduras as a whole encapsulates a biologically rich and remarkably wild expanse of still largely intact neotropical habitats, literally teeming with an outstanding array of wildlife, particularly birds. While Honduras' already impressive bird list is continuously being expanded by the efforts of intrepid, adventurous, and increasingly knowledgeable national and international birding pioneers, drawn by the country's still largely intact natural aspect and exciting ornithological potential, at least 735 bird species have been documented within its national bounds. To give some meaningful perspective to this figure, Compare Honduras's 43,278 square miles, slightly larger than the state of Virginia, with that of the contiguous United States, which has recorded a comparable number of bird species in an area nearly 73 times as large. In order to appreciate the significance of Pico Bonito National Park and its treasure trove of avian diversity, it's first important to understand where it fits in relative to the ornithological biogeography of Honduras as a whole. On a map of northern Central America, Honduras is vast, being the second largest country in the region, bordering Guatemala to the west, El Salvador, and a short, ornithologically significant stretch of the Pacific Ocean at the Gulf of Fonseca, where its rugged border with Nicaragua traces a diagonal line northeast through a vast wilderness to the Caribbean Sea, which makes up its northern coastline. A very significant fact that should not be lost to anybody considering a birding visit to the country is one powerful and tantalizing reality. The northeast tier of Honduras encapsulates what is perhaps the largest remaining true wilderness in Central America, larger still and more remote than Guatemala's Maya Biosphere Reserve, Costa Rica's Corcovado National Park, or even Panama's so-called Darien Gap, and possibly equally as biodiverse. As such, the remote river systems and lush tropical forests that carpet the Mosquito Coast region, contiguous with Nicaragua, are home to some of Honduras's least often seen but most desired rarities, pursued by the most intrepid birders, each hoping their efforts will reap the reward of a sighting others could only dream of, such as a stealthy agami heron, mysteriously plying the shaded interior of a flooded gallery forest or mangrove swamp, or a harpy eagle, quietly awaiting the unsuspecting appearance of a three-toed sloth, crested guan, or spider monkey in the region's nearly unbroken canopy. Perhaps a glimpse of colorful scarlet macaws, now only a distant memory in most of their Central American range, but still a common and awe-inspiring sight amid the luxuriant forests of the Rio Platano and Tahuaca-Asagni Biosphere Reserves of far eastern Honduras. Below the sunlight-bathed canopy, amid the dappled light and shadow of this mysterious region's immense, shaded understory, lucky birding explorers that put in the extra effort to reach eastern Honduras may reel to rare sightings of streak-chested ant pittas, or, while trying to catch sight of these difficult-to-observe will-o'-the-wisps by following their mysterious and tantalizing vocalizations ever deeper into the forest, cross paths with sprawling swarms of army ants and bear witness to mixed flocks of obligate ant followers, appealingly plumaged, spotted, bicolored, and ocellated antbirds belonging to a family of birds, the Formicaridae, seemingly more typical of southern Central America, or even Amazonia for that matter, than northern Central America. Along the same lines, an increasing number of these so-called southern Central American species, exemplified by the snazzy snowcap, colorful broad-billed motmot, and incomparable great jacamar, the latter only recently discovered in the country, are being found by exploratory birders willing and able to take the path less traveled in eastern Honduras. In the south, along the Gulf of Fonseca, myriad wetlands support significant breeding populations of marsh birds and waterfowl, such as American white ibis, bull-billed herons, black-bellied whistling ducks, and many other interesting species, joined in winter or ephemerally during spring and fall migrations by legions of migrants from as far away as Mexico, the United States, Canada, and even Alaska. Throughout the remainder of the country are rugged mountains that comprise some 81% of the territory. These lofty highlands are home to a huge diversity of species, perhaps best personified by the very aptly named resplendent quetzal, quite common here, in addition to powerful raptors and the constellation of multicolored forest birds, blue-crowned chlorophonias, rufous-tailed jacamars, and a host of migratory warblers, tanagers, grosbeaks, flycatchers, and orioles. The impressive list goes on. Last, but by no means least, in the hidden Aguan Valley, over the mountains in the southward trajectory from La Ceiba, one can find Honduras's only endemic avian species, the glittery, critically endangered Honduran emerald, which was seemingly lost to science for a period of 38 years before its rediscovery in 1988. Purportedly Central America's rarest bird, it resides in the now fragmented remains of a very localized, surprisingly desert-like interior valley environment of tropical dry forest, succulents, flowering cacti and terrestrial bromeliads. Of course, in the near future, as Honduras gains further ornithological notoriety, more as yet unknown birding hotspots will certainly be discovered, where resident and visiting birders alike will encounter underrecorded or even unrecorded species, perhaps one or a few new to science, to add to the country's already impressive list of birds, and you may be the next to make that discovery. Tantalizingly, unbeknownst to most outsiders, and even many Hondurans for that matter, this remarkable Central American country is dotted with a constellation of wonderful national parks, wildlife refuges, nature and biosphere reserves, some of which, such as the Rio Plátano Biosphere Reserve, have been designated by UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization's Man in the Biosphere program, as World Heritage Sites, regions of outstanding value to both humanity and nature, belonging to all the peoples of the world, irrespective of their national origins. One of the richest areas for birdwatching in the country is the north coast of Honduras, and the area in and around, still largely pristine and unexplored, Pico Bonito National Park, itself a world-class birding destination, since it encompasses an entire mountain range, the Nombre de Dios range, within its bounds. It too is perhaps worthy of World Heritage Site status. This is one of the largest protected areas of Honduras. It's a keystone of biodiversity just inland from the Caribbean Sea. It's home to thousands of raptors and small neotropical forest birds, including parrots, toucans, jacamars, motmots, hummingbirds, trogons, cotingas, manakins, and many more. Spectacular birds and other wildlife, intact habitats, and the potential to be one of the most productive birding and ecotourism magnets in the neotropical world. Pico Bonito National Park and the Lodge at Pico Bonito. These are very special places where birders can roam a network of trails and access observation towers to watch an amazing variety of birds flit, sally, soar, and fly unhindered. And via this film, we're going to be visiting some very special scenes filmed at the Lodge at Pico Bonito and the park that it's named for in the next few minutes. Pico Bonito National Park is an absolutely unique territory, not just for Honduras and Central America, but for the entire planet. This uniqueness is, first of all, in the extremely high level of diversity of birds and wildlife that's present within this nearly pristine area. Within the park, numerous limited range, threatened, and endangered species find the isolation they need to flourish and breed here without molestation, and many exist at maximum population levels, providing a rare research opportunity. These include nesting populations of several limited-range endemic Mesoamerican birds such as the Honduran emerald, green-breasted mountain gem, blue-throated motmot, snowy cotinga, bushy-crested jay, and gray-headed proprietors, among many others, and most occur in the highest, least accessible parts of the park. According to BirdLife International, the term limited range implies that the entire population occurs over less than 50,000 square kilometers of land. If you look at a map, you'll see that the towering Nombre de Dios mountain range, which makes up the majority of the park, is an isolated and rugged massif, disjunct but almost equidistant between the northern and southern Central American highlands to the west and east respectively, and between the Caribbean Sea on the north and the desert-like valley of the Rio Aguan to the south. And so, this Sky Island is sort of an unusual stepping stone, if you will, where you'll find birds from these distinctive ecoregions intermingling. You have the presence of some southern Central American, as well as more common and widespread northern Central American species within the avifauna, as well as all the wildlife of the region. As for avifauna, this is one of the richest places on the North American continent. Every year, millions of migratory birds join the resident legions, particularly during the northern winter, though some austral or southern migrants, yellow-green vireos, plumbeous kites for instance, arrive from South America to nest during the summer months. Located at the far northern edge of the Honduran frontier, La Ceiba, gateway to both Pico Bonito National Park and the adjacent Bay Islands in the Caribbean Sea, is the largest nearby community. As such, its population maintains their long-standing tradition of partial subsistence, utilizing the region's rich natural resources, including milpa agriculture, fisheries resources, and even bushmeat, particularly true where the large crassids, guans, and curassows are concerned, while at the same time adapting themselves to the modern era through ecotourism. But La Ceiba's population is challenged by a paradox. On the one hand, they are surrounded by a nearly pristine environment, and on the other, because of their remote location in the country and growing population, they are challenged to try to improve their standards of living, while at the same time preserving their natural heritage and shaping opportunities for the next generation of stewards within Pico Bonito National Park. The park itself, a virtually unexplored 270,000 acres of low to mid-elevation tropical wet forests, montane forests, cloud forests, and rocky peaks rising to over 8,000 feet, and an unknown number of associated microcosmic habitats, is a literal paradise for birds and birders alike. Conveniently, the lodge at Pico Bonito is easily accessible and strategically situated on 400 forested acres just below the park's northern boundary. It lies on the confluence of 5 of World Wildlife Fund's Global 200 ecoregions, immense wild landscapes that are globally significant for conserving the world's biodiversity. In addition, it straddles 4 endemic bird areas, or EBAs, as identified by BirdLife International. These include, where World Wildlife Fund is concerned, the Central American Atlantic moist forests, the Central American montane forests, Central American pine oak forests, Central American dry forests, and Northern Honduras mangrove ecoregions. And where BirdLife International is concerned, we have the North Central American Highlands EBA, of which Pico Bonito is a part, the North Central American Caribbean Slope EBA, where the lodge at Pico Bonito is located, the North Honduran Thorn Forest EBA in the Sula and Aguan valleys, part of which is protected within Pico Bonito National Park, but on the southern side of the Nombre de Dios range, and finally, the disjunct North Central American Pacific Slope EBA at the Gulf of Fonseca. Lucky birding visitors to the lodge can readily seek out the region's hidden avian treasures via one of the region's only extensive trail systems, replete with elevated observation towers, the upper part of which accesses Pico Bonito National Park proper. Resort guests have full access to this trail system, where they can bird to their heart's content in forests, along pristine rivers, and former plantation areas, then return to all the amenities and comfort the lodge has to offer. 4 primary habitats prevail on this important expanse, each easily accessible via the trail system. The gallery forests along the sometimes turbulent, rocky drainages of the Rio Coloradito to the west and Rio Corinto on the east.